The fairies are lovely, mythical creatures, commonly identified as young with dragonfly or butterfly wings while having magic wands and bearers of magical powers. But fairies can differ immensely from each other. They can be tiny creatures, but also larger than a man. These creatures are shy, and according to some myths, they can only be seen by those who believe in them. The name fairy has its origin in Latin and means fate. So the fairies have the power to magically intervene and lead people to their fate. In many cultures, the fairies are associated with the elements of nature. And so there are fairies associated with fire, who live near bonfires, fireplaces, or even volcanoes. There are aquatic fairies, who inhabit rivers, waterfalls, and ponds. The fairies associated with land and also the fairies associated with air. The origins of these creatures is inexact because they inhabit the religions and the folklore of several European peoples, being emphasized in Celtic, Nordic, and Saxon myths. But they conquered even more prominence with the popularization of fairy tales. These fantasy stories, filled with magic, spread the figure of the fairies. In these tales, fairies usually appear in moments of despair or immense sadness shown by the story's hero or heroine. Like in Cinderella's case, where the fairy godmother appears and with her spells transforms Cinderella into a beautiful princess. Some experts on paranormal cases affirm that the fairies still exist today and they are wandering around, and they can be seen by those who have mediumistic abilities. Nowadays, many people still worship fairies as well as guardian angels. Some of these people arrange small altars with flowers and crystals and also add some sweets, because in some traditions, the sweets are the favorite food of the fairies. Disney immortalized in the imagination of many children the image of fairies, like Tinkerbell and Peter Pan, the Blue Fairy of Pinocchio, and the fairies of the Sleeping Beauty. But the movie Shrek subverted the image of the fairy godmother, transforming her into a villain. Another example of a weird fairy is the bulky The Rock, interpreting the Tooth Fairy. The presence of fairies in such different ways in our culture only makes it clear that we are fascinated by these amazing creatures.